65 million years ago, a sophisticated civilization was observed on the planet Samaras. At that time, there was a pilot named Mills who was convincing his wife that he had to undertake a 2-year space expedition. He did all this to earn the money needed for the treatment of their daughter named Nevin. Before the expedition began, Mills naturally took the time to play with Nevin and taught her how to make flute sounds with her hands. Who would have thought that this happy moment would turn out to be the last moment of togetherness between Mills and Nevin, as Nevin was declared dead while Mills was on the space expedition. Fast forward 2 years, Mills's spacecraft on its way back to the planet Samaras suddenly crashed into hundreds of asteroids, causing him to be stranded on planet Earth. With his spacecraft severely damaged, he found that all his passengers had died. Mills then tried to contact the base on the planet Samaras, but got no response. Desperate, he once intended to commit suicide, but he did not go through with it because it turned out that there was one passenger who had survived. She was a young girl named Koa. Seeing this, Mills immediately rescued Koa and brought her into the spacecraft. The next day, Mills checked the surroundings, which appeared desolate and uninhabited. While checking with a device, Mills saw that half of his still functioning spacecraft was at the end of a hill, 15 kilometers away. Amidst this seriousness, a young T-Rex suddenly attacked Mills, forcing him to shoot it. Inside the spacecraft, it turned out that Koa had awakened. The two of them had difficulty communicating due to the language difference and the broken translator device. Mills tried to explain slowly through a picture that instructed Koa to follow him to the end of the hill to look for the functioning part of the spacecraft. Koa briefly questioned where her parents were at the moment, and Mills was forced to lie, saying that Koa's parents were still alive and at the end of that hill. After that, they both set off, carrying weapons and some equipment. In the middle of the journey, Koa stopped to save a drowning baby dinosaur. Mills actually disliked Koa doing this because they did not know whether the animal was dangerous or not. After being saved, the dinosaur immediately left, but suddenly 4 young T-Rexes came and bit it to death. Koa, who witnessed the event, was in shock, so Mills quickly hugged her to avoid detection. Mills now realized that their journey together would not be easy. They had to be very careful because the forest was filled with many hungry dinosaur species. Mills and Koa stopped by a river to rest and quench their thirst. Near the river, Koa picked a flower and wanted to put it in Mills's hair. Initially, Mills refused, but after being persuaded, he agreed to wear the flower to entertain Koa. During their journey, the aircraft detector suddenly lost its signal, so Mills had to climb a tree to regain the signal. Unfortunately, the brittle branches broke, causing Mills to fall. Koa then tried to treat Mills's sprained shoulder. Not far from there, several dinosaurs began to approach their location. Right after Mills's shoulder healed, he quickly grabbed his pistol and shot at the dinosaurs, while Koa was asked to run as far as possible and hide. Occasionally, Mills threw grenades to kill many dinosaurs in one attack. Meanwhile, Koa, who was hiding, was also surrounded by several other dinosaurs. Fortunately, before the dinosaurs could attack, Mills arrived just in time and killed them. The ordeal didn't end there. One remaining dinosaur continued to try to drag Koa away, but it too was driven off by Mills. As night fell, Mills and Koa decided to spend the night in a cave. Before sleeping, Mills set up several detectors around them that would light up if they detected danger. In the middle of the night, the detectors gave a signal. Frightened, Mills quickly woke Koa, only to find that a poisonous insect had entered Koa's mouth. Fortunately, Mills remained calm and managed to remove the insect. Then the danger detectors lit up again, this time detecting the radar of a theropod in front of the cave. Seeing this, Mills and Koa immediately fled and hid in a small hole. After escaping the theropod, they were confused about how to get out of the tight hole. Luckily, Mills still had a reserve grenade, which he used to create an exit. Because the passage was very small, Mills instructed Koa to exit first and gave her the remaining grenades as a reserve. After Koa successfully got out, it was Mills's turn. However, in the midst of the process, the rock suddenly shook, causing the path to close and separating the two of them. This time, Mills was very frustrated because all the exits for him were closed, especially since a theropod came back and attacked him. After a hard struggle, Mills finally managed to kill the theropod. Switching to Koa, who was now free, she was suddenly attacked by a dinosaur. Koa's screams were heard by Mills, so he immediately came out and ran very fast. Unfortunately, Mills, who was too enthusiastic, did not realize that he had fallen into quicksand, which caused him to start sinking. Fortunately, at that time, Koa managed to kill the dinosaur with the grenade previously given by Mills. Only after that did she immediately lower a tree branch to help Mills out of the quicksand. When checking the guidance device, Mills saw that there would be a large asteroid that would fall and destroy the Earth in 12 hours, which is why they had to hurry before being hit by the asteroid. In short, after a very long journey, Mills and Koa finally managed to find the functioning part of the spacecraft. Mills quickly prepared to launch the spacecraft, but Koa looked sad and disappointed upon realizing that her parents were not there, as Mills had told her. Mills realized his mistake and apologized to Koa, explaining that he had no ill intentions and only wanted both of them to be safe from planet Earth. Hearing this, Koa began to soften. As they prepared for takeoff, a meteor shower began, and several meteors fell onto the spacecraft, temporarily halting the launch process. When Mills regained consciousness, he saw a T-Rex trying to destroy part of his spacecraft. Panicking, Mills rushed out of the spacecraft and prepared to shoot the T-Rex. Unfortunately, Mills's weapon ran out of power and needed some time to recover. While waiting, Mills hid behind the debris, ready to kill the T-Rex. Additionally, a theropod suddenly appeared and attacked Koa, who was still inside the spacecraft. With no hope left for himself, Mills instructed Koa to launch immediately and leave him behind. He then lured the theropod away and attempted to kill it with a geyser explosion. Unexpectedly, because it did not work, the theropod rose again, ready to devour Mills, who was then unarmed. However, suddenly Koa came and immediately stabbed the theropod's eyes. The blinded theropod returned to Mills's trap and was killed by the second geyser explosion. Fortunately, they managed to launch just before the giant asteroid fell and destroyed the Earth. And the film finally ended. So according to the movie 65, this is the reason why dinosaurs became extinct, because the collision of a giant asteroid with planet Earth had destroyed at least 70% of the population of all life on planet Earth. So that's the whole plot of 65. I hope friends understand the storyline and see you in the next story.